Hey beauties, good evening to you beautiful people. So beauties, I was actually listening to an interview by Will Smith, and he said something extremely thought provoking, and I could feel the sincerity in that interview with Will Smith. And he said it's so funny, I spent half my life making money, becoming wealthy, so to speak, and the next half, I'm giving it away because he has realized in the however long he's I'm sure he's about in his 50s, you know half a little bit, maybe more than half a century, a little time that he has been living. He has been on this planet, still fairly young, but not so young, and with age it brings wisdom, and in his own experiences and in his own surmisation, he realizes that neither relationships, money, nor children will bring you happiness. Happiness has to come from within. And the only being that can actually give you that happiness is Jesus Christ. He implants that joy when you really come to know Him as Lord and as Savior. He didn't say that part. But I'm telling you, because there are many people, He's not the first, He's not the second, He's not the third, He's not the millionth, that have actually experienced having a lot of money, millions of dollars, and that individual is not happy. He has actually experienced what some people have not experienced. He has been married twice. He was married before. It wasn't that long like this present marriage. He has children from the first and from this marriage. He has the fame, the wealth, the fortune, the popularity, and you realize that in the media, especially in the last few years, it has been arduous, and he realizes that all of what I've accomplished, and each time I grew on the pinnacle, I just kept getting hit after hit after hit, and I realized that I'm not happy. Because even, I know that part of, people have been, there are people who will say that he's a part of the Illuminati, and a part of the devil's kingdom is that, just as with God's kingdom, God emits compassion and mercy and grace. The opposite is that they emit embarrassment, humiliation, lies, falsehood, gossip. So you will see something coming out that is not true, but it is a part of the ritualistic move. And even if that is the case, I am sure that the human side to him, the side that God, just would leave open, for that window open for him to say yes to Jesus Christ, when he's sedentary, when he's relaxed and, about to retire, and his thoughts are before him. I am sure the question could have been posed: if you were to live your life over again, would you do it again this way? And I'm sure he would say, never again. I would never put myself through this ever again. And there are many people, and that is why, unfortunately, my beauties, you find a number of wealthy people ending their lives. Have you ever noticed? You said to yourself, you'd figure that when you're poor and pauperized and things are tough and you can't see your way through, that these people would have ended their life. The poor people still have this fight within them, and them say, you know what, let me see if I can try a little more, let me see if I can try again and try again. And the one who has it said, why? That's it. I've tried everything. I have everything. And they end up ending their lives because they realize it cannot. God is deliberately not allowing money or people to bring you happiness. It comes from God Himself. He implants that seed in you for you to water it by saying yes to Jesus. Lord, I'm going to follow your teachings and your principles. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have down days, sad days. Having sad days is not devoid of happiness overall. You understand what I'm saying? Having down days, having despondent days is not devoid of happiness overall. Nobody's happy-go-lucky 24/7, 48/14, every day of their lives. That's not normal, because we live in a sinful world. But we're talking a general feeling, a general mood, a general lifestyle of happiness, of peace, of joy. And that can only come from Christ. That can only come from Jesus. People will fail you. And one of the things I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to put this in. Do not put people above where they should be. In other words, if you're looking at people like a savior, God is going to cut them, don't let them look like a devil to you. I'm serious. I don't want, I'm glad when people don't even think highly of me, because at least God will make them start to see the good. Then when they start to think that I'm not perfect, I'm glad I accept my imperfections. And I allow God to just take me from glory to glory and from strength to strength. I'm okay. I'm okay. That's why I'm learning how to be okay with people not wanting to be my friend. It's their loss, because I know I would be a very good friend to them, an excellent friend to them. I'm not fully okay, but I'm learning to be. For people who tell lies, spread lies about me, and people believing and treating me accordingly, because I sit back and I'm putting on my 3D glasses and having my popcorn, not laughing, not mocking, because I said, unfortunately, what the seed that you have sown, it's going to come back to you full force. In other words, the listeners, as well as the propagandas, what they've spread about me, it's going to come back to them full force, worse. That's why I don't do certain things, because I know for a fact it is going to come back at them, and they're going to remember all of what they have done to me and said about me, especially lies. Relationships don't bring you happiness. It's good when you have a good relationship, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. There are moments or pockets of happiness and joy when you have that kind of a symbiotic, unified, harmonious relationship going with people who, you know, their energy is not off. You know that when you discern, you realize that these are good people. These are good people in my sphere. You know, when Jesus chose his disciples, yes, he chose one that he knew would have betrayed him. But as bad as things being of beauties, let me put a spin to you. As much as Judas didn't betray him on the basis of there was hate in his heart for Jesus, you know. He just figured that Jesus was not going to get rid of the they call it there, the Romans there, because they were oppressing the people at the time. He figured, you know, Jesus would have taken too long, or he would have just not done it the way he thought, and they were able to bribe him up for that with that 32 pieces of silver and so on. He didn't understand that they were tricking him, so he did not do it out of a sinister feeling, like out of guile and evil. It's not out of hatred like him hate Jesus, why he betrayed him. He just thought that Jesus wasn't going to operate the way he figured, to bring peace and unity and all of that for the people and to the people. So I'm saying to you that everyone, barring none, valued Jesus. They were not perfect people. They were not even Christians when he called them, but he knew their hearts, and he surrounded himself with them. Even with sinners that he walked with, he surrounded himself with sinners. Some never loved him, but some did. And the ones that you will see him specifically go to and call to, like Zacchaeus and Nicodemus and all of these specific ones and so on, he just knew their hearts. And those things will bring some element of joy and happiness in your life naturally, especially if you have a spouse, a child, a mother, father, friend, or whomever it may be. But ultimately, it's really about Jesus Christ. Once you follow his principles and teachings, and you just easy and just be human and normal, happiness really comes. And don't put yourself in unnecessary problems and difficulties. Happiness comes. I'm not telling a line of beautiful people I want to be wealthy, because they have promulgated a false message. Maybe back in the day, maybe their educational level or mental ability wasn't there, so they probably took scriptures like blessed are the poor in spirit, not understanding the etymology, saying blessed are the humble in spirit. Those are humbling your attitude. Spirit as in attitude, you know, for they shall see God. And they took it to mean when you're poor, it means that you're a godly person. So, you know, the world and the church will scorn people who are in the church who try to get wealthy. You know, as if we're not human beings, as if church people or Christian people or children of God aren't human beings and they can't live lavish lives, you know, and help with kingdom building, God's kingdom, and the tearing down of Satan's stronghold. The nonsense that has been preached, and it's going to take a while to be wiped out of people, you know, and that's why they probably feel that most pastors are thieves, you know, where money is concerned. Nonsense has been preached. But anyway, guys, it's about God. Follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, do share this message.